What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So I got one here by Legal Mindset. Yep, Johnny Somali's trial is coming. So let's get into it. And yep, shout out to Legal Mindset. So let's listen in.
The trial of Ramzi Khalid Ismail, aka Johnny Somali, is coming up this week on May 16th, 2025. And I wanted to give you this summary, this brief video, in order to give you some facts about what is going to happen at that trial, what to expect, and kind of some of the shenanigans that we could see happening in the court today. Of course, as a legal mindset, we teach you to be your own judge. And I'm Andrew, Esquire, American attorney living over here in Asia and committed to ending the plight of nuisance streamers on countries such as South Korea, Japan, Philippines, Thailand, and really anywhere in the world. People who think they can disrespect the culture, the people, the traditions, the laws, and get away with it, which absolutely describes Ramzi Khalid Ismail, or RKI, as we call him, because he absolutely came to Korea thinking he would face no consequences. But now, at this next court date, May 16th, he faces now six criminal charges, and we're going to deal with that as we talk about this today. So, of course, we still have the basic facts which have remained unchanged about the actual trial, and that is that it is going down in the same time, place, and location, which is May 16th at 10 a.m. in the Western District Courthouse in Mapo-gu in Seoul, South Korea, in room 406. So anybody who's there or wants to attend can attend and come in. It's public. Now, the problem is there's only 16 seats. So if there's too many people, you're just not going to be let in. You're going to have to wait outside. You're going to have to, figure something out. So if you're going to go early, I have confirmed that Korean media will be there. So they will be there. Now, how many of them, we don't know. Last time there were about 4 individuals from the media, 3 from major corporations, and 1 independent media, not including myself and Atozi, who were there in attendance that March trial date, which, mind you, we had a delay already of the April date. The April date was pushed to May. So, we had 4 people there other than us. So I imagine now that this has become even bigger national news. We may see 6, 7, 8 just Korean media people in there, which is half of the courtroom seats, which is fairly crazy. But I would expect to see coverage on this on all the major networks. Now, one thing I would say is I would highly expect there to be possible antics or drama outside the courtroom. If you recall last time, and I will play some video for you here in a second, there was a lot of drama from the suits that were oversized and kind of doing an ebony ivory matching sort of thing going on with Hank in a black suit, Johnny in a white suit, and they came in together. Of course, they weren't allowed to go up together. Johnny's a defendant, so he had to go up and leave Hank behind, which he was very sad about and visibly bothered by having to be separated physically from Johnny. But beyond that, there was encounters between Johnny and folks outside of the courtroom, which led to a lot of.
Yeah, yeah. The question is he going to be there on time, 10 a.m.? Is he going to get wasted and drunk the night before? Because, as Legal Mindset said, Johnny kind of showed up late, and then she even told the chick off to go F off and all that. So, and South Korea needs to make an example out of Johnny, because these nuisance streamers come into this country causing problems, needs to come to an end. And that's where they need to throw the book at him. And of course, Hank doesn't make it easier, because he brought him into this country, say, hey, come here, Johnny. And now, we're dealing with the effery of this crap. So, yeah.
Pushback in Korean media, especially this particular encounter in which Johnny said some crazy stuff. So I'm going to play this. This is a snippet that I showed on my previous stream, but I want to play it again for you guys. And this is once again Johnny walking into the March hearing.
Do you admit the charges?
So just to be clear, Johnny there was flicking him off the entire, saying F you. She asked, do you admit the charges? And Johnny said F you. right? FUB, right? And once again, I'm trying not to curse here, but Johnny is the one who's doing it.
Is there anything you want to say? You admit the charges. Don't you want to apologize?
So that was his behavior last time. I can fully expect that Johnny Somali will be confronted by reporters again, people that are waiting out front, other folks that maybe wanting to ask him questions or maybe wanting to, say some kind words to him. And I can fully expect that he is going to flip out. He is going to crash out. He is going to get aggressive. I imagine that Hank, who styles himself as his bodyguard, quote unquote, his physical protection, will attempt to step up with false machismo and attempt to be a tough guy. Although, once again, Hank Han Jung-yu always calls the police, when there's anything and files charges against people. He's a guy who calls the cops and files charges if even a fly lands on him. He is such a scaredy cat. But that said, I would fully expect there's going to be some sort of altercation. So I would stay tuned for that, see what's going to happen. And obviously I would expect that the media would once again confront him in front of the courthouse when he gets there with Hank together and perhaps maybe even others. Who knows? So that's something I would look forward to. And then we got really into the meat of it, the substance of it. The purpose of this trial date is to plead guilty or not guilty on the charges which we have not yet addressed. So just to be clear, we have 6 charges that are against him right now. Now, mind you, in this last trial in March, he only was really aware of 1, 2, and 3. Now, 4 was technically filed just before his March court date, but he had no idea about it. In fact, the only reason he heard about it was from my live stream. My live stream was the only way he knew about it because he wasn't following his court case closely, and frankly, neither was his lawyer. So they were kind of blindsided by that, and they did not plead guilty or not guilty. They said, we need time to review it. And then he got hit with the deep fake before his April trial. This actually caused the public defender in that district to file for an extension to push this thing down to May. And now we have the new charge coming through here in May, the next deep fake, the second deep fake. And for this, actually, the other lawyer that he had in the Eastern District registered in the West, and his public defender was dismissed by the judge. We now have confirmation 100% that the public defender was removed by the judge, because if you have a paid attorney, if you have a private attorney, you are no longer qualified for a public defender. So all of these charges are really new for the lawyer that is covering his case. All of these charges are stuff that this other lawyer really hasn't thought about other than one of the deep fakes. So this new lawyer is coming in here and going to have to deal with all of this stuff. And once again, the first obstruction case was the ramen that was at 7-Eleven. That was the original charge. Then we had 2 violation of the Minor Crimes Act that were brought in, one in December and one in February. First for harassing people with a rotting fish, and the next for causing disruptions on the bus and the metro in Seoul. Then we have another obstruction of business, which was brought in March, which he has not pled to. And then we have the deep fakes, one in March and then one in May. Now, mind you, let's talk about the criminal penalties here. What are we looking at? What are we looking at for time?
Okay, and this is one thing. All these charges, and I think this is 6 that Legal Mindset has known. But and I think there's still going to be more charges. But I think counts 1, 2, and 3. I think he did plead guilty, but 4, 5, and 6, those are the serious ones. So let's see.
Well, the violation of the Minor Crimes Act 2 and 3, those are fines. Those are primarily going to be fines. But obstruction carries up to 5 years prison time. So for number 1, you've got 5 years on the table. Now they can also choose to give a fine. They can choose to give a fine or give prison time. Now, if this was just one charge, I would say it's highly likely he just gets a fine. However,
hey everybody, it's Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. I have a question for you. If you had to make a choice between having massive impact on...
It's 6. And he's already pled guilty to 1, 2, and 3, which makes him a convicted criminal. He is already, in the eyes of the Korean system, a convicted criminal, even if he pleads not guilty to 4, 5, and 6. So Number 1 is up to 5 years. Number 4 is up to 5 years. So then we have 10. And remember, in the Korean system, they lump it all together. They take all the totals and they lump it all together. So we got 5, 10, and then these 5 and 6 are up to 10.5 years each. So that's 21 years for those two. So you have 21 plus 10, 5 and 5 equals 31 maximum. Now, we're not sure exactly how they're going to charge these last two. They could be charged under a kind of lesser degree, which would be up to only 7 years. But even then, let's say it was 7. That's 7 and 7, 14 plus 10, 24. That's significant time in jail. And the funny thing about 5 and 6, the deep fakes, is that they carry mandatory prison time. That means there is no fine option. They can't just give him a fine. They have to give him jail time.
Wow.
Now, my little asterisk on that, my little star, is the judge could elect to issue what's called a suspended sentence, which means even if he pleads guilty, the judge could say, you know what, we're going to let you off on this. We're not going to sentence you. I'm not going to give you any jail time. At this point, that is highly unlikely because of the fact there are 6 total charges, which shows a criminal spree.
Wow.
Things even which are, were happening, over time and even happening after he was already under investigation.
Yep. And same thing, 6 charges. Need to make an example of this guy, because if Korea goes soft on this, here's the thing. Other nuisance streamers going to come into this country, and I don't want to deal with those nuisance streamers. And if it's me and I have to run into them, I might just beat the crap out of them. That's why I don't go out as much, and I don't mingle with these guys, because I want to F them up. So yeah, but they need to make an example of these guys. Don't be a nuisance.
So you see all of these things. And we also have, remember, a victim that has stepped up and said, I was harmed by this, and hired a lawyer, got the full record, and wants to testify. Mm-hmm. So we have a very committed victim that wants to seek the maximum punishment. So with all of these things, Johnny Somali has to make a calculus. What do I want to do? Now, if I'm a betting man, I think he's already pled guilty to the number 1, to obstruction of business number 1. I think he pleads guilty to number 4. And I think that he might try to fight 5 and 6. So I think the ones that he's most likely to try to plead not guilty on are 5 and 6. I think he's already pled guilty to 1 obstruction. I think he thinks that's relatively minor. I think he thinks that's a joke. So he probably will plead guilty on that one, which would make him guilty on 4 counts, and then he'd plead not guilty on the other 2, which he would have to litigate. Mind you, that would take months. There'd be witnesses, there'd be testimony, there'd be back and forth, and that would certainly, if he pleads not guilty, push things into 2026. So we would be looking at a late 2025, early 2026 at earliest if he tries to fight these and goes not guilty on 5 and 6. And that's what we're really looking for at this trial. So really, I am paying attention to what are the pleas. And remember, that's all that's going to happen today. We're not getting testimony. We're not getting anything else other than pleading on these charges. That is all it is. It's going to be a 5, 10, 15 minute, no more than 15-minute hearing. We might have some shenanigans like him wearing a hat. He's threatened to wear a Ku Klux Klan outfit to the court. That would, of course, be contempt of court and be extremely rude. Also, wearing hats, not permitted as well. He was told to take that off before. We could also see Hank causing a commotion in the galley. Last time he was cursing at other people behind him. He was threatening them. So we could see that as well. Happening with Hank getting a little bit uppity in the stand, or rather in the peanut gallery. So we'll look forward to that, and we will keep you updated. As always, we have people in the courtroom, people that are attending on the Legal Mindset team, on the Somali conviction team, which you guys can support over on Ko-Fi at Ko-Fi/Andrew Esquire. And we will make sure to get you breaking news as soon as this trial is done. As always, take care.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. What kind of other shenanigans Johnny has, and along with Hank. So yeah. So what is it? This Friday. Today's the 13th. So yep, this Friday I'll find out what's going on. All right. So If any of you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you are, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video.